This is not your typical easygoing everyday type of fragrance. No guys, this is something special. So let's review Amouage Purpose 50. Hey, what's good guys? Hunter here and welcome back to the channel where I upload weekly fragrance content. So you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any videos like this one here. And also check me out over on my Instagram page for some personal content and behind the scenes stuff as well. But today guys, we are reviewing a newer Amouage, especially in my collection, and it is Purpose 50, which is part of their new collection called Exceptional Extraits. Of course, it came out with like Interlude 53, Reflection, I think 45, Purpose 50, and a few others. And these things are some of the highest concentrated fragrances money can buy, guys. It's actually insane how strong these are. Probably even too strong for their own good, to be honest with you. Because your typical fragrance usually has around like 15 to 30% oil concentration, and 30% is really pushing it. This one here actually has 50% perfume oils inside of it. Absolutely no joke of a fragrance, but I'm so excited to be reviewing it today. So I've never actually tried the original Purpose to kind of compare this one to. However, we're going to be reviewing this one as a standalone, but I am a huge fan of Amouage. Of course, Interlude Man, which is my baby, Reflection Man, etc. There's so many gems in their collection, and Purpose 50 is absolutely another one of them. Also do want to shout out Amouage for sending this one over for review. Of course, I'm still going to keep it completely honest with you guys. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't, per usual. So let's go with some information now. Purpose 50 was launched in 2025. It is a newer fragrance, like I said. For the retail price, only size this one comes in, which is the 100 ml, is going to run you $520, which I know, guys, is very, very expensive. No doubt about it. However, this is a niche brand. I always looked at fragrances like works of art, and the artist can charge like whatever they want for their work. But of course, when you think of Amouage, you think of luxury, you think of prestige, and just very rare fragrances. However, this one is definitely expensive, but like I said, it is part of the Exceptional Extrait collection, which are a higher tier. The concentration with this one is, of course, an extrait de parfum almost ×2, because your usual extraits range from like a 25 to 30% perfume oils. However, this one has 50%, guys. One of the most potent extrait de parfums on the entire market. The perfumer behind Purpose 50 is the man himself, the legend Quentin Bish, who is a massive perfumer, has one of the best resumes in the entire fragrance game. I mean, if you can think of one of your favorite fragrances, he might actually be the nose behind it, guys. He has an insane resume. He's also the nose behind, of course, the original Purpose as well. So he knows what he's doing, of course, with this flanker. Now, with all the information out of the way, let's get the packaging and presentation you get with Purpose 50 now. All right, so take a look at the new Amouage boxes. Of course, it has this kind of nice artwork on the front. Amouage Purpose 50. Mine is a press set, so yours will look a little bit different, of course, but still very similar. Kind of have this splatter kind of glitter sheen on the bottom with Amouage, as well as a barcode on top to scan. You also have Amouage Purpose 50 on that side. On this side, you do find your barcode and batch code to authenticate your product to see when it was actually produced. And then on the back, some ingredients, etc. But yeah, all in all, I know I did like the older presentation with the box, because this one kind of just looks more like a gift set. I said the same thing with the Reflection Man box as well, but still absolutely beautiful and stunning, kind of like a work of art. So let's look at the bottle now. So take a look at this bottle, guys. Probably my favorite Amouage bottle, at least in my collection. I love the gradient of different colors going on. You kind of have this off-white creamish color on the top of the cap, as well as the Amouage logo, Amouage 50 in gold. And this bottle, just like the rest of the Exceptional Extraits, are kind of like a transparent see-through glass around the bottle, which I do like. Of course, on the bottom, Extrait de Parfum, made in Oman. Nothing on the back. On top, you do have the Amouage logo. You do have that gemstone on the top of the cap as well, which all Amouages have in different colors. Nothing inside of the cap, nothing on the atomizer, and these are magnetic. Also, the top of the cap is in the shape of the end of a sword, if you didn't know that, which I think is a nice attention to detail. So yeah, that is the bottle presentation, which I think looks absolutely stunning. In the top, you have frankincense, pimento, bergamot, and pink pepper. In the mid, you have rose, sandalwood, papyrus, and vetiver. In the base, you have akigala wood, mystical, suede, saffron, and vanilla. And this one will be classified as a spicy woody. So let's spray this and test out these atomizers. Honestly, kind of disappointing atomizer, especially for that price. I would have hoped for at least a pressurized atomizer, but still, you don't really need to spray that much or have a pressurized atomizer because this stuff is so strong. Now, let's go ahead and remind myself of the beast, Purpose 50. Now, this is truly an Amouage fragrance, no doubt about it, because in the open, you are going to get this kind of sharp, spicy citrus combination from the bergamot, brings this kind of green tartness to it, mixed together with this kind of spicy, fresh pink pepper note as well. And that kind of bright, sharp, citrusy opening is very nice because this is going to turn into a deep, dark fragrance in no time. Because within seconds, guys, you're going to get that signature touch from Amouage, which they're just master at, and that is that resinous fragrance sense, guys. Very sacred, smoky, kind of like you're walking into an ancient cathedral. That's the vibe this gives off from the fragrance sense, and I love it, man. Amouage does the best frankincense, incense fragrances in the entire game. That is literally what they're known for, and they're a master at it. And it's nice to have that fragrance sense right in the opening of this one because it's gonna last the entire length of the fragrance. You don't even have to wait for the dry down to get it. Yeah, the fragrance sense definitely gives off that kind of churchy feel to it, which I love when fragrance sense comes across like this, guys. It's incredible. So smoky, resinous frankincense mixed together with that fresh, spicy pink pepper and that sharp, bright bergamot is where you're gonna get in the opening of Purpose 50. Just spicy, citrusy, and smoky. Now, as we start making our way into the mid of Purpose 50, you are gonna get this kind of aromatic, dry papyrus note. This scent profile comes across very, very dry to my nose, guys. The papyrus also brings some green nuances, kind of making this a green style fragrance matching the bottle along with that bergamot in the opening as well. So without a doubt, goes in that kind of green direction. You will also get this kind of earthy, rooty, dry vetiver note as well, mixed together with this dry, woody sandalwood. And thank goodness the sandalwood in here doesn't really come across pickly. It doesn't really come across creamy either. It's kind of like the dry, kind of sawdust sandalwood is the vibe Purpose 50 gives off to me, and that's the best way to do sandalwood in my opinion, and probably the only way I actually like sandalwood as well. So once we finally get into the base of Purpose 50, which does take quite some time to get there, you are going to get this kind of akigala wood. Now, akigala wood is a synthetic molecule. It is a little bit woody, however, it smells more so like patchouli in my opinion every time I smell the note. It definitely gives out this kind of green, earthy patchouli nuance from the akigala wood. However, you're also going to get this kind of new synthetic molecule called mythical, which personally I had to look up because I've never seen this note before. I had no idea what it smelled like, what even it was. So it's kind of new to me. However, it does come across very mysterious, guys. It's kind of dark, mysterious, smoky, and earthy, and a very, very strong synthetic note, no doubt about it. Also think the note is exclusive to Givaudan, who's actually the people that make the Amouage fragrances. However, I love the kind of mysterious touch it adds to the DNA. You are also going to get this very dry, leathery suede note as well. It kind of has that suede texture to it somehow, mixed together with that kind of leathery, spicy saffron, which I think go hand in hand with the suede because saffron can come across leathery as well, and it absolutely does in the base of Purpose 50. Now, you are also going to get this added note of vanilla. Now, the vanilla adds some nice kind of spicy, warm, slightly creamy nuances in the base of this one. And I think that's one of the main differences between Purpose 50 and the original Purpose, because the original had no vanilla at all. So it is a nice addition to this. Just a fragrance you want to reach for anytime you want to be remembered and make a statement, because this is going to do that for you. So for the best seasons to rock Purpose 50, if you guys get a bottle, and what I'm primarily going to wear this in is going to be the spring, fall, and winter. The only season I'm not going to reach for this one is going to be in the high heat summer, because there's nothing summery about this fragrance at all, guys. It's very dark, deep, potent, and of course, very earthy and smoky. So fall, winter, and spring, especially spring evenings, is gonna be absolutely perfect for. For occasion though, I do think this one is definitely more on the formal side. It does have this kind of unique, sophisticated nature about it. It's not casual. It's not gonna be your everyday kind of fragrance that you wear running errands, etc. This is primarily gonna sit on your shelves for special occasions only, at least for me, and what I think it's best for. Like if you're going on a date night, you want to make an impression. If you're going to a nice kind of event, a nice wedding, you have to dress up a little bit more rather than just wearing casual attire. That is when Purpose 50 is going to shine the absolute best. And you're going to smell so expensive and just very luxurious. Just absolutely not your casual everyday fragrance, somewhat like what Reflection Man is. You can wear that fragrance as a signature scent all year round. Probably one of the best signature scent worthy fragrances from Amouage. However, this one is for very special occasions. So for gender, this one is without a doubt a masculine fragrance through and through. It leans on the masculine side without question, guys. It smells like a man. It smells very masculine to my nose. It's not feminine. Nothing about this is feminine by any means. Even though there are some rosy nuances in here, you don't really detect them that much, if at all. Just personally, I cannot imagine a woman wearing this one or rocking it. At least that's my preference. You guys have different preferences on what you want your woman to smell like. Maybe you want your woman to smell manly, then she can wear it. But for me, I like my women to smell feminine and pretty, and this one does not smell like either of those. It's a very manly, earthy, dry, smoky fragrance that does lean on the masculine side. I'm not sure. I think Amouage also has a purpose fragrance for women as well, which I've actually never tried any of the women's line from Amouage, so I couldn't really tell you that. Definitely for the guys, especially for the guys that want to smell luxurious. So for age groups, it's also on the mature side as well, because the way this fragrance smells, there's nothing fun, nothing youthful, playful about it. This is not going to be a teenager fragrance. It's not even really going to be an early 20s fragrance, mid 20s. I think anywhere probably like mid 20s and up. Wearing this one the absolute best in my head. It definitely smells like a grown man fragrance, if you know what I mean. It has that sophisticated nature about it, very much classy as well. So anybody that kind of has their life together or getting their life together, like I said, 25 and up, maybe even 30 and up is the best suited for Purpose 50. I couldn't even really imagine like anybody late teens, early 20s even enjoying this DNA, to be honest with you. I know in my late teens, I wouldn't have looked at this fragrance and be like, whoa, I want to wear that. Unless you're somebody that has a trained nose already and you are a little bit younger and you like these kind of fragrances, you can do it. I just think the audience that's going to gravitate towards this one is going to be a little bit more mature. And obviously, when you are a little bit older, you probably have more money to spend on something like a $600 bottle of fragrance. It just gives off wealthy vibes. Like somebody has a ton of money in their early 30s is wearing this fragrance. Now, wrapping the review off, talking on the performance you're going to get from a Purpose 50. So, of course, this being an extrait de parfum with 50% oil concentration, which I think is the most concentrated fragrance in my entire collection, almost on par with like a Tars, which is just so crazy to think about, to be honest. You are without a doubt gonna get over 12 hours of longevity on skin, guys. I mean, well over 12 hours even. I'm just saying 12 hours as a benchmark, but this thing's gonna last, oh my goodness, probably a whole day, like 24 hours, especially if you have like moisturized skin as well. And on clothes, if you spray your clothes, be careful because this might even stain because it's so oily. When you spray your skin, you have like this oily sheen on you. It's so dense. But when you do spray your clothes, it's gonna last a couple of days. Definitely the strongest fragrance from Amouage in my collection. Of course, you think of like Interlude Man, the Blue Beast. This one's even stronger. I haven't tried Interlude 53 though, which I would imagine would be on par with this one. But still, in my collection, one of the strongest fragrances in my entire collection, to be honest with you. And when it comes to projection, this one actually projects very loud, especially for being an extrait de parfum. You don't usually expect extraits to project a lot, but that's not always the case, obviously, guys. Some extracts project more than others, but what makes a fragrance project is the alcohol concentration. So if you have something like an eau de cologne, which only has like 5 to 10% perfume oils, it's mostly alcohol. Those usually project like very obnoxious for the first maybe hour or so. And then extraits usually sit a little bit closer to the skin. That's not really the case with Purpose 50. I don't know what Amouage did, but they made this fragrance last a very long time and project very heavy and loud, where it's almost a room filler, meaning everybody around you will smell this one and they're gonna think you have a ton of money when they smell it. So watch out for the gold diggers, guys. So all in all, above average with Purpose 50, but of course you kind of expected that. I mean, I wouldn't expect Amouage to be caught slipping making a Purpose 50 flanker and not performing how it should. That just would not look good for the brand at all. So they definitely put the work into this one and made it one of the strongest fragrances money can buy. So that's gonna do it for my review of Amouage Purpose 50. Let me know down below if you guys have tried the original Purpose, if you're a fan of it. Also, if you tried Purpose 50 and how it compares, if you tried both of them. And maybe even which one you prefer, guys, as well, because I know the original Purpose has a huge following behind it. People love that one. And I can see why if it's anything like Purpose 50, and this one probably is even better. You would expect it to be. But besides that, leave a like on the video. Subscribe below if you haven't already, because man, what are you doing if you want to smell good? I got you. And I'll see all of you back here in my next upload. Take care, everybody.